1968 was the year of global student revolt, particularly the main demonstrations in Paris. In Mexico, shortly before the Olympic Games started, there was fresh popular resentment over the violent repression of opposition movements during the previous decade. Despite Mexico's stable economy and an-war modernity, many Mexicans were unhappy about living under an authoritarian regime that did not permit any kind of opposition. Unlike our Belgian counterparts, the Mexican students were less respectful of the great scientists and philosophers. We can compare El Colegio de México and the University of Liège. We both held gatherings in the auditorium. At El Colegio de México, we declared ourselves in a permanent assembly, even though we jeopardized our scholarships. One of our leaders, comparable to this on Liège, was Julio Volvinic, and like the other students, I was a part of the base. In both cases, we had the support and advice of professors who sympathized with the movement. Mexico's 68 turmoil began as a simple fight among high school students on July 22nd in the Ciudadela, near downtown Mexico City. The riot police, known as Granaderos, intervened heavy-handedly to control the crowd. These include many students in the area who had not participated in the fight. To protest the state's violence, the Instituto Politécnico Nacional students decided to demonstrate on July 26th through their organization. The authorities granted permission for a march. That very same day, leftist activists were celebrating their annual rally, remembering the assault on the Moncada barracks in 1953. Many participants decided to take their concerns to the Zócalo, main square downtown. The Granaderos, who were waiting in the side streets, blocked this new march. Violence erupted between them and the students. During the morning of July 30th, known in student folklore as El Día del Bazucazo, General José Hernández Toledo organized an assault on the various campuses. At the Prepa 1, San Ildefonso, the army used a bazooka to blow away an old colonial door that blocked the entrance to the school. The administration's use of repression unified the students. Dean Javier Parro Sierra of the UNAM led a rally with 100,000 participants to protest the repression. Students petitioned for the release of political prisoners, abolition of the Granaderos Corps, dismissal of Chief of Police and his deputy, indemnification for the victims, repeal of Articles 145 and 145A of the Penal Code, which made attending meetings of 3 or more people punishable with imprisonment, and punishment of the responsible parties. These points were to be resolved through a public dialogue with the authorities, a crucial point since it was a mechanism to avoid cooptation. The students had taken their cause to the streets. The use of brigades engaged in like mini rallies altered civil society and brought people together. Choices that had been non-existent became legitimate options. Multiple forms of expression exploded on the scene. 3 important rallies took place: 13th and 27th August and 13th September. The struggle was against all kinds of authoritarianism, to that suffocating way of an oppressive security apparatus. The movement reconstituted social interaction. Central to this transformation was women's participation as activists, which radicalized the movement. Women activists opened a road for a movement that challenged an authoritarian social system that restricted women's possibilities. Political meetings on school campuses transformed political discourse. However, the worst repression was an attempt to destroy the movement. The overwhelming repression was unleashed against a peaceful student rally at Tlatelolco Plaza, with the uncoordinated involvement of the state's repressive agencies, resulted in a bloodbath that was witnessed by members of the foreign press. However, the Olympic Games would take place as scheduled, without any interference or domestic demonstrations. The struggle for liberty and democracy continued after Tlatelolco. Many of the movement's activists remained active. Some participate in traditional political parties, while others worked in new organizations or joined guerrilla movements. Dr. Oliver, Assistant Secretary of State for Inter-American Affairs, sent a report to Washington criticizing the Mexican administration for having underestimated the depth of students' hostility towards the Mexican government, having overestimated the involvement of alleged quotes communist agitators, and having failed to pursue opportunities for a peaceful solution to the problem. La Plaza de las Tres Culturas commemorates a battle between Mexicas and Spaniards on August 13, 1521. No one won. It was the birth of Mexico's mixed-blood population. However, the people still remembered the 1968 massacre. The events of October 2nd were a slow and painful beginning in the struggle for justice and democracy. We are still waiting for a good, true democratic government for the people. Not, quote, a narrow-minded bigot, unquote, in the president, as The Economist magazine said.